We're all back. Vaughn, the other remarkable thing about the betrayal is how quickly it happened. Like, it wasn't hard to find any of the tape of Trump on all of these Manosphere podcasts, and it was even easier to find them sort of clapping back. This is podcaster Dave Smith, who endorsed Donald Trump's presidential campaign in 2024.
I hope the Republicans lose the midterms this year. They need to. For the country, they need to be destroyed, and no one from this administration can be supported in 28. J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Tulsi Gabbard. She hasn't resigned yet. Tulsi Gabbard. Dude, the no war with Iran shirts that she was selling. How much money you make off those shirts, Tulsi? How can you not return that money?
Vaughn, I'll find the picture and show it to you. They sold No War with, oh, there it is. No War with Iran t-shirts. And that is, at Tulsi Gabbard, Gabbard. Yep, that's her. No War with Iran, get our troops out of Iraq and Syria now. Tulsi, No War with Iran t-shirts. What do these people say now, Vaughn?
You know, I think that that's one of those where at the least bit, there must be a reckoning or a sober detailing of the position change. You know, and I think J.D. Vance is the other one, right? I was on the campaign trail with him when he was running for Ohio Senate seat back in May of 2022, and he'd talk about this. But then even in 2023, J.D. Vance, he had a long Twitter thread in which he was very clear. He talked about, I hope we do better in the future, referring to the Iraq war. And I know that we won't until the people who led us into Iraq are scorned and ignored across the spectrum. Iraq was a disaster, yes, but the best way to do justice, to be honored dead, is to learn the lessons purchased by their blood. There were 7,000 American men and women that lost their lives over the last 25 years in the Middle East, more than 53,000 injured. And by J.D. Vance's own telling, he was 18 years old when the Iraq war began, and he enlisted in the Marines just 1 month later. And he saw and lived the experience that so many other millennials did in terms of their loved ones paying the price with their own blood. And I think that that is where, here in this moment, in these first 72 hours, there has not been a sober detail by either the President of the United States or J.D. Vance in terms of laying out and responding the difference in which the beginning of the first Middle East wars and what we are seeing play out here over the course of the last 72 hours. Because in so many ways, there's so much conservative backlash online here, including by one, he's the writer, conservative writer Matt Walsh, saying, I can't take the gaslighting, guys. I really can't. Conservatives now running around saying Iran has not been waging war on us for 47 years. Then why didn't any of you call for an attack on Iran on any other point till now? A lot of these same voices, from Megyn Kelly to Marjorie Taylor Greene to Matt Walsh, these are the folks that were very key to lifting up the likes of J.D. Vance into prominence and really holding on for Donald Trump and carrying his political water over the last decade.
Tim Miller, what does it mean for Democrats?
That they should be very clear in opposition to the war. Look, and I think that I understand in the past, Democrats, I think when it comes to national security issues, they sometimes wrap their head around, they sometimes get wrapped around the axle on it, thinking about how they don't want to seem weak. You know, the Republicans are more comfortable being jingoistic and pro-military, and so Democrats don't want to kind of cede that ground to them. And so you see this sometimes when folks are talking about this in the past, but even now, this war, you see some Democrats saying things like, you know, caveating it and, you know, talking, you know, focusing on how terrible the Ayatollah was. It's okay to talk about all of that. I wish the Iranian people were free. I wish the women of Iran had freedom. I'm not upset that the Ayatollah is gone, but these clowns aren't going to do anything to fix it. And we cannot trust them. They're liars. They're incompetent. And Democrats should not give them any off-ramp for any political off-ramp, at least, for, you know, kind of covering up that incompetence. And so, to me, I think if you're a Democrat, you just should be very clear about how we do not support war with Iran. We do not support Donald Trump and Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth unilaterally taking us to a war with no rationale, without offering any compelling case to the American people without coming to Congress and letting us vote on it or authorize it? No, it's no, 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 no. And I think in this case, that puts Democrats on the right side of the American people and on the right side of the policy in this, because like these guys don't know what they're doing and they're risking getting us into a big quagmire. And I think, frankly, the best thing probably is to just cut bait at this point. And so I don't think the Democrats should feel at all compelled to, try to, find the middle ground here or, sound tough on foreign policy vis-a-vis Iran.